Back for another video. Today we're going to be working on this Impreza. So I plan to take it to a big car event here for the whole weekend. It's called Donegal Rally. Um, because I can't trust people around this car. This car is worth too much money to have people pawing it and scratching it and everything. Where I built this car for what I had in my garage. So at the end of the day, the car only stands me like €1,000, so I can justify taking this car up and having a bit of fun in this car. Especially that it's a four-wheel drive car. People aren't egging you on to do all sorts basically, and let's just say I'm very easily persuaded, and I don't want to get locked up. So today we're going to be fixing this car. Now I took this car off the road because it was having a number of issues. It kept on the catch can kept on overflowing on under high boost. Um, as well as that, the engine kept on retarding timing. So it would boost no problem up to about 3,000 RPM, and once it reaches full boost, it would retard all the timing, spit all the oil into the oil catch can, and then it'll just give me full boost again at like 4.5 grand all the way to redline, which is very weird. So what I'm planning on doing today is there can only be a number of things, so just kind of process of elimination. We'll use this car for example. It can only be your MAF, which mass airflow sensor. It could be your mass airflow sensor, which takes which meters the air going into the engine. One, it could be my O2 sensor or it could be my lambda sensor, the two sensors on the exhaust, and maybe one before the uppipe, which I have been looking, it is damaged. So fingers crossed. I have two here out of a spare engine that I've sitting there. That I'm going to take off. We're going to put in. I also have another one laying on the floor, if I can see it, there. So we'll put them in. I'll show you where the positions are. Take the car for a drive, and maybe give it a bath, and we'll see how we go from there. Also, I want to put the oil catch can in the boot because where I have the oil catch can at the minute, it's overflowing, and when it overflows right onto that wheel, and it makes it impossible to brake. And if I can't brake, I can't stop. And if I can't stop, I have an accident. I don't want to have an accident. So yeah, we'll do that, and I'll kind of bring you guys along for the ride and show you where everything is. I'll get the car jacked up on axle stands, and I'll follow back up with you guys. Alright guys, so here's the underneath of my engine bay. As you can see what I was talking about with all the oil. See all the oil here? That was from the oil catch can. It overflowed. I may or may not have been racing somebody on the road. But this is the problem that I'm having. It keeps on overflowing here and sending oil all the way down here and all over the wheel. If you look in the inside of the wheel, like it's all covered in oil. So the plan today is we're going to go buy some more hosing, and we're actually going to route it all the way down the side of the car and into the boot, and we're going to mount it in the boot. Because then my theory behind that is, one, I won't get smell of oil in the cabin. Two, it will take a bit more pressure to get to the oil catch can, so I'll have more capacity in the lines. And three, if it does overflow, it'll overflow in the boot, which there'll be a hole in the boot, and it can overflow in the boot, and it won't cause me any accidents. So yeah, that is the theory behind that. But the next issue we have is I think I need to replace this sensor here. The reason why I have to replace that sensor here is because the boosting issue that I'm having, and I think that might be the cause of it. If I could just get this phone to focus, there you go. See how damaged that is? I think that being damaged is the cause of all my boosting issues. My O2 sensor and all that it's not reading correctly, and it's giving me all my issues. So yeah, I'm going to get that out. If I remember, that is a 19mm spanner. You just get 19mm spanner in there and you kind of twist her off. It's a bit of a nightmare to do. It unplugs from the top. I'll show you that now. It unplugs from the top. I have everything hidden. Normally you'll find it hidden here. Normally you'll find it hidden here where everything plugs into. I have it all taken away. I have it all hidden under the intake because I like having space. So yeah, and then the oil catch can is here. Oil catch in just goes to the breathers there and goes in here, which this is connected all the way through here into the other side. So yeah, so we're just going to extend those lines to the boot, and we're going to change those two sensors, and then I'll see can I find my other mass airflow. If I can't, I'll swap the one from the one in that car that I know is working, and we'll take it for a spin and we'll see how she goes. Alright guys, so I have the old O2 sensor out. As you can see, I think that might have been my problem. It's a bit destroyed compared to this one, where it's not destroyed at all. So yeah, I'm actually going to take this one out here of this manifold. It seems to have the same plug. It seems to be in perfectly good working order. It is a 4-wire as well. This is a 4-wire. Actually guys, no, I'm not. And the reason why I'm not is, if I look at the cable colors are the same. This is the one that I'm going to put in. Has good thing here. So fairly confident. Has never been cut and spliced, so I'm fairly confident this one will work. I have fingers crossed this one will work. Same plug. Is it the same plug? No, it's not. Haha, so this is the difference. What plug is on this? Haha, so that's again the difference again. So I'm going to have to cut and splice, I'd say, and make one work. So yeah, as you can see, this is where the harness should be. The harness goes into here. Look what I have right here, guys. I have already a connector for it. So what I'll do is I'll cut and splice and I'll make my own harness. Or what I could do is I could just extend this. It would actually make more sense extending this. If I can cut here and I can actually extend it, it might make more sense. I'll do that, guys, and I'll get back to you and let you know what I've done. Alright guys, so what I've done is I've actually cut it off the harness here. And the reason why I cut off the harness is because these cables here are special wax cables with a very fine metal wire inside. To get a proper joint on that and to get it to actually send the unit through will be pretty hard, and I'll get intermittent faults. So what I did is I actually cut off that plug there, which is this plug here, and I got the plug that I need to splice in. Now, as you can see, the colors are different. Now, what I've done is I've plugged in the one that came off the car, which is this one, the one that I want to install, which is this one, and what I'm going to do is the only colors that are the same are the colors on the sensors, because that's the ones all that matter. So the colors and the sensors there. So the sensors there. So what I've done is I'm going to put the cables all the way back. So if you can see, blue comes out, and it actually comes out as white. This white cable here, as you can see. So the blue comes in, comes out as white. So I know that the blue that comes in here, which is that top wire there, comes out as white. So that's perfect. So that's my blue wire. Then my white wire comes out and comes in as my red and white. Whereas my white wire here comes out and comes out as my black with a silver dot. So I know those two are my signal wires. Then I have those two wires sorted. So if I go to the bottom, I have two black wires. My two black wires go to this black wire and this pink wire. If I go to the bottom of this one, my two black wires coming in go to this wire and this wire. So that's how I know where I'm wiring all them in relative to this here. I'm going to get my connectors now. I'm going to wire them in. Once I have it wired in, I'll show you guys the update. Alright guys, so I said I'd show you how I'm doing this. So I'm using these connectors here. Yeah, so it is like a heat shrink with a bit of solder in the middle. If I can get this. Not focusing. There you go, with a bit of solder in the middle. So what you do is you put it through the wire. I'll put it through the wire. As you can see, I put it through the wire, and what I did is I connected the two wires inside where the soldered area is. And now what I do is I take my lighter and I run my lighter up and down. I can get my lighter out. I run my lighter up and down that whole thing there until the whole thing melts and that solder melts inside. That way it creates a watertight seal, and it's soldered. The connections are soldered together, so it's a good connection as well. They're also watertight as well, and also heat resistant as well, so they shouldn't corrode, and they should stay giving a good positive reading back to the ECU, so it shouldn't give me any issues. As you can see, guys, it's soldered now. It's created a watertight seal. It's created a watertight seal up and down, and it's soldered in the middle as well. Now what I do is I've run some tape on it just to seal it up even more, and then I'm going to tape up the whole section again with tape just to make sure it's all watertight. Alright guys, so a quick little update. I have screwed the O2 sensor in, as you can see down there. The cable's coming up. It's plugged into the harness is all plugged in again. I'm going to put the intake back on, take it for a spin and see what happens. Alright guys, moment of truth. I've also changed the mass airflow sensor to see what happens. So we'll start her up now. Hopefully she'll start and we'll see what she does. She starts right up. She actually sounds really good. So we'll take her for a drive now, and we'll see how she drives.